All right, welcome. So on today's video, we're going to talk a little bit about how to set up the service calendar. I've seen many people have a lot of trouble with this. It's quite confusing, and I never usually look at the help docs to figure out how to use something, and I would say this is the first time. So let's jump into it. We're going to use my wife's account because it's a great real life example. So let's go jump into it. So I've already set up a couple of calendars in here. We are going to set up more. On my other screen, I do have the list of calendars that we need to create. We have to understand the hierarchy of all of these things here. Service menu, rooms, and equipment. Groups always existed, but now it plays a key role. And the way that we would do this is we're going to start with rooms and equipment. And the reason for that is because you're going to set it and forget it. So it's good to set that from now. So in this case, we already have a room. We can create a room. You can name it room 1, room 2, however you like. And you can select which calendar it goes to if you already set them up. But don't worry about this for now. Just create the room. I would put one, if there's one person that can fit, or one patient, one guest, however you want to call it, in that room, then select one. Click create. You don't need to worry about this just yet, because as we add, when we create the calendars, it's going to automatically update that for us. And same thing with the equipment. So you can go and put in the equipment that you use. So for example, my wife's an esthetician. She has a med spa, and she has a laser hair removal machine and a jet peel machine. And there's only one room. So we just basically named it. Put the number, we have 1, and if any of them are out of service, you would put that there. And again, you can leave this blank, it will automatically select. Perfect, okay? And then same thing, yeah, so just create all your rooms and equipment. From there, we're gonna skip the service menu, and we're gonna come over to groups. Well, service menu we're gonna do later, and I'll explain why. You could do it now, but I just think it'll be a little bit more efficient if you create it later. So with that being said, you want to create your different groups. And if we actually go to the service menu that I've already created, you can understand how it works. So the way that I've structured it is her different treatments that she does is going to be a different group. And the reason for that is so that you can group it together. So the laser hair removal will have different things like different body parts. So lower legs, upper legs, underarm, arms, whatever it is. And then facial is more for the face. So I just wanted to separate those, and that's why I created the groups like that. If you're maybe a masseuse or have some sort of spa, you can do something similar where, I don't really know the correct terminology, but maybe foot massage can be one group and then have different types of foot massage if that's a thing. And then, body massage can be a different group and then have all the different types of body massages in there. That's one way to do it. You can figure out how you want to organize it on your own. I would say that you can even, let's say you're a salon, a hair salon, maybe you want to do men and women, and then have different options or services for men and women. That's the idea behind the groups, and you can reorder these later. So with that being said, let's come back to this page here. So we created our rooms, we created our equipment, and we created our groups. You see that I have these two groups. All you have to do is click create group, name the group, and give it a URL. So if you're laser hair removal, type in laser hair removal. You might need to put some numbers in there because the URL may already exist, and that's it. From there, we can go and create the calendar. So let's go ahead and click create calendar, and we're going to choose the service calendar. From there, we're going to give it a name. So I'm going to look at my handy dandy sheet here, and we're going to do, we're going to type in half arm. Okay, half arm is going to be for laser. We're going to select the staff that's going to work there. I type in laser dash half, give it a URL, put the duration. So the duration of this appointment would be 30 minutes. So that's good. And also we're going to click add description, and that's going to be $65. Cool. Now we can actually want to come back to that. Quick tip is when you create a calendar, click on advanced settings. That will allow you to come to this screen here. Let's see, let's search for that real quick. Arm, half arm. Okay, that will bring you to this screen. You're going to need to get here so that we can adjust some more settings. For example, if you're going to take payment, in this case, I'm not going to. I actually just put the price in the description, and we take payment. We don't use Stripe. My wife doesn't use Stripe, so that's the only reason why we don't take payment. But I wish she did, because it would automate a lot of things for us. So yeah, I like to turn on the allow Google to send an invitation. That's a Google or a calendar invite, and then assign contacts to their respective service staff members. So assign it to whoever their service with, and then if they're assigned, don't assign it. That's what this means. I don't turn that on, because if we had multiple employees, I would want it to be assigned back to that or assign it to that employee, whoever is going to service them next. So I would like that setting. So that's why I don't turn that on. You can upload an image, which I will do later. And that's basically it. If you allow reschedules or canceling, that's a good thing to do. However, if you don't do cancellation and you're going to charge them a cancellation fee, then you could do allow cancel, but maybe have somewhere where it maybe charges them or doesn't give them a refund or whatever. So that's that. Then here, you're going to want to go and select your room. So this one's going to be room 1. And we're going to select which equipment it is, and that's laser. Also, if we come back to the service details, we need to ensure that we put it in the correct group, laser hair removal. Click save. Cool. Now that that's saved, we can go to service menu. So here, we're going to simply create service menu. I'm just going to edit this one because it's the same exact steps. You're going to give it a name. You're going to give it a URL or a slug or a path. And then I would recommend having this on to be A2P compliance. And that's basically it. You can set a confirmation message, which I left by default. You can also have it redirect to a certain thank you page or confirmation page that you wish to create. Then we're going to come and select services. Now, the reason why I said to do this after is because every time you create a service calendar, you're going to need to add it to this service menu. So what I just do is if you open this up, you can see that half arm that we just created is not selected. So I just click select all, and I do that every time at the end. So just best practice to create it last, or create your rooms, create your calendars first, and then just come in and add them. Or you can create it first. It really doesn't matter, but it's not what you need right away. You need the groups, you need the calendar, and you need your equipment before you can really do anything. But again, remember the order that I mentioned in the beginning, because you're going to have to go back and forth if you don't do it in the order that I mentioned, which is, if we come out of here, rooms and equipment, do that first. Then create your group, then create your calendar. If you create your group after the calendar, then you're going to have to come back to the calendar and assign the group. If you create the room and equipment after your calendar, then you're going to have to come back to your calendar and assign the room or equipment, or go back to room and equipment and assign the calendar. So just do it in that order. And then at that point, you're able to just adjust everything and set all your settings for groups, rooms, equipments, all in calendars. It's a little bit of a handful. It is confusing, but just remember that order. And once you create your calendar, then you come back to service menu. You would edit the service menu, select your service, and make sure you have it to select all. If that's what you want to do. You can have different, it could be that you have different service menus for every group. I think that would defeat the whole purpose. So in my case, we're just putting all of the groups on this one page. And now if we come into here and we refresh this, we will now see half arm. And now the way that this works is, let's say I want to do lower legs, and I also want to do half arm. I can now click add. If you notice, it adds the 30 minutes to be a total of 1 hour. So the way that it would work, we can actually do a quick test. Hopefully my wife doesn't get upset. And if we click continue, we can see that it shows it for 10 a.m., 1 hour. So it's 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Now, when I go and look at that appointment in my calendar, it's actually going to show it as two different appointments. It's going to show, for example, the full leg, or sorry, the lower leg at 10, or the half arm at 10, and then the next service at 10:30. So it's technically two different appointments, and I would love to see maybe that get combined or something, or maybe a little bit cleaner. I would also love to see the ability to create the appointment and add all those things like we just did internally, so that the company or the employee or the staff can do it themselves. Right now, that's not possible. So if you wanted to get that type of situation, you actually can go and just book multiple appointments, but it's much cleaner and easier if you were to just be able to select. So that's the whole point of this. So we should kind of get that functionality internally. That's my whole idea behind that. But yeah, that's about it. There's really nothing more than that. From there, you have the service menu, which you can embed, and you are good. Just repeat the process for every single service. So if you have, there's a lot more that we need to add. I need to add full arm and face and all these other services that we offer. So once you add that, you're good to go. And by the way, one other thing that I need to mention is your pricing. So if you had accept payments, it would do the same thing. It would display, let's say, $30, $30, and then also over here, once we put in our details, there would be the credit card info with the total price. So it adds it all up, which to me is a huge upgrade. I spoke about this in one of my other videos, and I'm very excited about it. Previously, we actually weren't using the high-level calendar. We weren't using really any calendar because of it. We did actually have one laser hair removal general calendar, but now this actually shows you exactly which service they came for, when, how long it took, and things like that. So I love to see this. If you have any questions, shoot me a message on Facebook. You can email me. My email, you can find me on my channel in the description below. And that's it. We'll see you on the next one.